We'll start disassembly of the Firestone. As I told you, it was working. Now this is, and if you'll remember, I told you I pick up about 2, maybe 3 on a good day, local stations during the day, and the volume is wide open. I hear a little bit of hum, but not anything objectionable. So definitely a recap's coming. The dial indicator is off somewhat, and I'm sure an alignment is coming up. And so is the local station. I turn it down. One of the features of this, it's got bass, music, and speech tone control. That's the bass. Here's the music, and then here's the speech. I think that's about all I can receive on this. But I brought it down to the shop, and I'm going to do the disassembly and then start working on this cabinet and everything. So stay tuned. We're fixing to get into this thing. Okay, back removed. I didn't realize it had this, but it's got a little built-in antenna on a wooden block. Looks about like 4 turns. That's not much, but it probably works. It's a variable inductor tuning. You can see in there. And guess what? Critters. We've got some critters. There's a acorn hole, some string, and some holes. I'm going to investigate this, but I'm hoping all this is plastic, but it could very well be snake scales. And if you're watching, you may have had snakes in your radios. Okay, let's go a little further. Okay, here's some of the debris we found. An acorn shell, some rat pellets, dirt, plastic, and some snake scales and pieces of snake skin. I believe the rat had taken the snake skin inside there to try to build a nest, and I think that's what happened there. Here's the cabinet after I disinfected it. Okay, underside of the chassis. Here's the tuning screws for the push button mechanism. There's the filter capacitor. This is the original filter capacitor. These are all the paper caps in here. It doesn't look like there's any work been done whatsoever in here. The thing's working great. Alright, let's get to work on the cabinet a little bit more. Here's the speaker. It's in really good shape. Let me take it outside so you can see. It's in really good shape. This radio's in pretty good shape. Okay, here's some of the minor repairs I had to do to the cabinet. Nothing structurally significant, just a few little odds and ends. This is a substrate laminate that was coming off the bottom, and I put some glue in that and clamped that to secure that. Okay, I brought this out in the light. As I showed you before, this finish is pretty well shot. Don and I had talked about doing this, about spritzing this, and trying to marry in some new lacquer. Well, I did a test run on it, and it was just a real gummy, nasty mess. So what I did is I did another test strip over here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I used some steel wool and lacquer thinner and got it down to pretty much the bare wood. So I'm thinking that this is going to be the way to go. It's got a good good grain wood. It's got a good color, good stain to it, good looking wood. So I'm gonna, at least this top, I'm gonna do the lacquer thinner and basically remove it, because when I was trying to marry it together, it just became a gummy mess. So that's what happens sometimes when you get started on something and it doesn't go exactly the way you drew it up on the drawing board. So just like in football or baseball or any other sports or in life in general, if you get into a situation that the situation changes or you're not getting the results, you have to adapt. You have to make adjustments at halftime. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making adjustments, and I'll show you the results of the top when I get done with this. Got to get my gloves and my lacquer thinner out. Okay. Started taking some of the lacquer off using lacquer thinner. I don't know if you can tell, but I just took that old finish off. It just wasn't what it needed to be. Now, I've ran out of lacquer thinner for the day, and it's Sunday afternoon, and I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna start on this again tomorrow. I'm well over halfway, but I've still got to do some stuff. If you can see some of the grain in that, I'm thinking right now in my mind the columns and the edges on the top and the bottom to be toned darker, and then leave the rest of this the same color, including the top. I think that's will make everything pop. But this end of it I haven't done, but it's a slow go. This is one of those things that everybody talks about. It's boring watching paint dry or taking lacquer off or cleaning a chassis, but it's part of the process, and it's probably good therapy if a lot of folks just sit down and do that. You can think, and you can listen to some tunes and just chill out. All right, we'll pick this up when I get the rest of this lacquer cleaned off of it. Okay, here's the cabinet with the lacquer removed, and a tiny bit of medium brown walnut toner applied. Remember, we're wanting this finish to look old, not new. So I've done a test strip over here. Let's see if we can look here for the base to make it a little bit darker than the rest of it. So, but it's starting to look a little better than it was, and it is still looking antiquish. So that's my goal, not to make a piano out of this. Okay, here is the cabinet mask off to allow the spraying of the dark toner on the top and the bottom trim pieces. I intentionally used very light coats. I wanted it to look worn, and I think that turned out pretty good. Okay, here's the cabinet after I've put dark toner on the trim, top and bottom trim, and I intentionally only put a small amount. I did not only put one coat, and I'm gonna let this cure for a day or so and take a look at it, and I may take some steel wool and stress it a little bit more to give it an older look. So, alright, so next step is, if it looks like I want the age that I want on it, I'll shoot it with some lacquer in the next couple of days or so. Okay, got a package today. These are the push buttons that comes off the Firestone, and I've cleaned these up a little bit, and I may have to clean them up a little bit more. But I got a package today. I had put a ad on Antique Radio forums, and a guy answered me, and he said, here's two, sent me his pictures, and said, if you want them, here they are. So here they are. I needed one. I got two. Of course, these haven't been cleaned up yet, but I think they're going to match fairly well. So I think the next video is going to be on the recapping and working on the chassis. I'm going to let the cabinet cure for a couple of days before I shoot the lacquer. Then that'll be when I get it shot and it cured and the chassis working the way I want it, then I'm going to marry them together and make the last video. So that's going to wrap it up for this part. I appreciate all the new subscribers and all the comments that I've gotten, and suggestions. So until next time, this is Larry from East Tennessee. Thanks for watching.